If you're currently looking for a job, you know the exhaustion. You spend hours pushing out applications, replacing a lack of clarity with sheer volume. But struggling to figure out your next move is not a personal failure. It usually comes down to two measurable psychological traps: the sunk cost fallacy, where you feel tied to the years you've already invested, and identity attachment, where changing jobs feels like losing a piece of who you are. When those traps take hold, the reflex is to act. You fire off hundreds of AI-polished applications, hoping something sticks, without pausing to define what you actually require from the role. The result is entirely predictable. You become a blurry silhouette in a massive hiring pool. If you do land a job this way, the odds are high that it will be a severe mismatch for your skills and goals. We need to bypass the generic advice and break this loop. To do that, we are going to match your specific career blockage to one of 3 analytical frameworks. Skipping this self-reflection saves you time today, but it ensures you'll spend the next several years in another mismatched role, building toward a career you never actually wanted. Profile 1 is the spray and pray applicant. You are frustrated, tight on time, and sending your resume to anything that loosely resembles your background. The specific error here is operating under the delusion that application volume equals career momentum. It doesn't. To fix this, you have to stop applying completely and run a baseline audit on your past roles. The mechanics are straightforward. Look at your previous job. Write down the expectations you had before you started and place them right next to the actual reality of your daily tasks. This isolates what you want to do from what you can do. From that contrast, extract 3 strict, non-negotiable values. That might be a hard compensation floor, remote work flexibility, or a specific team structure. Implementing this filter cuts down the raw volume of jobs you can apply for, but it takes you out of a position of desperation and puts you in a position of alignment, giving you actual leverage in an interview. Profile 2 is the optimizer. You are an early to mid-career professional. You feel unfulfilled, and you are trying to weigh competing priorities like pay, lifestyle, and social impact. To map priorities, we use the WHAM framework, defining career options by 3 axes: wealth, autonomy, and meaning. Wealth measures your career capital, rare skills, economic optionality, and financial runway. Autonomy is control over tasks, while meaning measures your counterfactual social impact. The mistake optimizers make is falling into control traps. This happens when you try to maximize autonomy before you have built enough career capital to actually command that leverage in the market. The math of this model requires SAS slicing. If you decide to chase peak meaning or peak autonomy, you almost always have to make a conscious, calculated sacrifice regarding your peak wealth. So the optimizer has to accept a compromise across these 3 axes. Continuing to hunt for a mythical, perfect dream job that maximizes all 3 will only keep you paralyzed. Our third profile is the paralyzed pivot. You are further along in your career, you desperately want to change, but you are frozen by the psychological weight of the status you've already built. You are stuck because status quo bias makes the familiar feel safe. Your identity is attached to your current tile, making a pivot feel like a threatening loss of self. To unfreeze, you need Odyssey prototyping. Instead of one massive leap, you draft 3 divergent 5-year plans. The expected path is your current trajectory. The alternative path is what you do if your industry vanished. The wild card is your dream scenario. Execute these prototypes through micro-experiments. Shadow a friend in another industry. Conduct informational interviews, and gather real, physical data without making a full commitment. Prototyping requires committing your time to experiments while you still hold your current job. But this effort replaces guesswork with real data, letting you test a new life before you actually commit your livelihood to it. True career clarity is never found by endlessly scrolling job boards. It is engineered by auditing your past, recognizing the capital you need for the autonomy you want, and prototyping your future. Overwhelmed? Audit your values. Torn between priorities? Chart your options on the WHAM axes. Terrified to pivot? Prototype 3 distinct futures. Regardless of which profile fits you, there is one final requirement. You must set a hard decision deadline. Open-ended deliberation leads to perpetual postponement. Setting a specific date to make your choice forces you out of analysis paralysis and into execution. not deciding is still a decision. Committing to an imperfect path today is always better than letting the compounding cost of inaction make the choice for you. There is much more to help you at JobSearch.Community. If you become an insider, you'll receive coaching from Jeff Altman, the big game hunter, plus access to all of his video courses, books, and guides, and the ability to ask him questions through the site. You can download the free content at the site, receive a weekly article to help your job search, purchase individual courses, books, and guides. There is a lot there to help you. The website